How's it going, everyone? Has it ever happened to you that you have this feeling of discomfort, this feeling of sadness, and sudden anxiety without specific reason? If you are familiar with those people, like those people who are like hypersensitive and they tend to have very low resistance to negative emotions, then this video is certainly for you. My name is Mustafa Abdulatif, your friend on the net. Hello again and welcome to my channel. My name is Mustafa Abdulatif. I make coaching videos and I created this channel so we can all grow together and be the best versions of ourselves. So hit the like and the subscribe and let's get into today's topic. If you're familiar with the traits I mentioned earlier, then you're probably a neurotic person. But what is neuroticism? Neuroticism is basically your sensitivity to negative emotions. So the higher you are in neuroticism, the more likely you are to react to negative emotions more than other people who are lower in neuroticism. Neuroticism is mainly associated with two main factors: volatility and withdrawal. Volatility is mainly associated with people who are very emotional. Those people who tend to get sad very easily, tend to get angry very easily. That's all associated with volatility. But as for withdrawal, it's mainly associated with the freezing, with this feeling that you are frozen. You can't take any decision. It's also associated with having depressive thoughts, negative perspective about yourself and about the world around you. That's all associated with withdrawal. Okay. Now that we've understood what we mean by neuroticism, we need to understand what to do to avoid any problems that might come along with it, because like having these issues, it can certainly affect your life. So what we need to do today with the problems associated with them. First of all, you need to realize that being high on your autism doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person. You just tend to have a certain problem like everyone else in the world. And it certainly doesn't mean that there is no solution for you to avoid the problems associated with higher level of neuroticism. Okay? It's to understand how neuroticism functions. You see, neuroticism is a personality trait that exists in everyone in various degrees. It's different from one person to the other. The reason why we tend to have this personality trait is to protect us from the unknown. It's basically a defense mechanism that tries to keep any possible harm that could happen to us. The downside for that is that there are so many possibilities for us to get hurt in this world. And if we focus on every possibility to get hurt, we will not be able to advance in our life, because we need to be able to risk getting hurt in order to achieve what we want to achieve in this life. Now that we've spoken about neuroticism and how it functions, let's get to the practical steps that we can actually implement in our lives in order to prevent the problems that are associated with the higher level of neuroticism. The first step that we need to take is to step out of our comfort zone. Now, you don't rush yourself, you do this at your own pace. What you're trying to do is to step out of your comfort zone and familiarize yourself with the feeling of discomfort. And you also need to realize that not everything will go as planned. The second step is positive programming. And that's very important for this feeling of freezing that we tend to have sometimes. Because basically it goes like this. You're working on something, you're putting in the effort, but suddenly you have this sudden fear, that freezes you from inside. It tells you, okay, like, this is an unfamiliar territory. We don't know if things will go right or not, and you're most likely to fail. So what we're going to do is to positively program our brain, so that whenever we have this sudden feeling, we have something to present for our brain as a counter evidence to that. Like we say, okay, like, this is not true. There are evidence when this and this and that happened and things went well. So that doesn't necessarily mean that things will go wrong in the future. And by doing that, you're basically giving yourself a push to put in the effort and invest more in what you're doing. eventually you need to realize that you're responsible for your own happiness and well-being. So treat yourself like someone who's worth of love and someone who's worth of taking care of, and you're responsible for that. See you next time.